The Ahmed Kathrada Foundation and other civil society organizations are holding a public rally tomorrow on the eve of the State of the Nation address. They are endorsing a call by Anglican Archbishop Thabo Makgoba for action against those implicated in state capture and corruption. This as a documentary depicting how politicians abused power during former President Jacob Zuma's tenure is being screened at the Bioscope independent cinema in Maboneng in Johannesburg. It was first shown in Gauteng at Killarney Mall to an audience invited by the Ahmed Kathrada Foundation. The organization's Executive Director Neeshan Balton joins us now to chat about why they took part in the film's production and tomorrow's rally. Neeshan, let's start off here. Good evening and welcome to The Full View. The intention behind this film, what is the message that the foundation is trying to drive through?
Well, thanks for the opportunity. We were not involved in the production. What we were involved in was the first screening of it in Johannesburg to an audience of almost 600 people in 3 movie houses at the same time. And what this documentary is really about is how it focuses particularly on the Gupta family and how and the role that they played in state capture and the people that they worked with to pursue that particular project, and right up until the Zondo Commission itself, and testimony is given there is brought out. So I think it's the story of the Gupta family in particular, and their role in state capture in this country.
Yeah. Does the film at all give us any further insights into how state capture was carried out?
It does. What it does do is takes lots of what we already know, but puts it forward in a more coherent way for people to actually grasp without having to read the mountains of documents and information that is out there.
Mm-hmm. And as you were watching this movie, Neeshan, at the end of the movie when the credits were going out and just reflecting on the movie itself, what went through your mind?
I can't really recall what were all the credits, but essentially at the end of it is the magnitude of this project and a sense of anger, really, that all of this had happened without many people knowing the full details of it, and the fact that this family is still out of this country and need to be brought back to be held to account.
Yeah, and the rally tomorrow is really about that. It's really about sending out that message, a strong message, that those implicated in state capture must be held accountable.
Absolutely. I think South Africa today are experiencing the after effects of state capture on a day-to-day basis, from electricity to rail transport to education to water services that are collapsing. And we are being called upon to endure all of this, while many of the people who perpetrated the capture and the looting of our state walk around freely here and across the world, both within the private and public sector. And Bishop Makgoba, I think, has hit the right tone in his comments that this has to be a year for accountability and for us to see justice being done.
Mm-hmm. Tomorrow we understand that there will be some former NPA members as well as part of the march as well, who will be addressing those who will be gathering in Cape Town. Would they be able to explain why there hasn't been a prosecution?
I'm not aware of the NPA attending. One of the speakers tomorrow is Willie Hofmeyer,
yes,
who worked for the Asset Forfeiture Unit. And I think what Willie will be talking tomorrow about is a particular area of work which is called the lifestyle audit, and how that has already started but now needs to be scaled up across government as an important instrument to start tackling state capture and corruption within the state, and to put it on an ethical foundation.
Have you ever been able to sit down with Willie Hofmeyer, because he was part of the NPA before retiring, and probably an explanation as to why there hasn't been any prosecution?
I think the story we're getting from many people in the prosecuting authorities is the fact that they found an institution that was broken, very little capacity, and rebuilding starts has in fact taken longer than anticipated given the scale of the mess that they found. But I think, secondly, it's about putting together the cases that need to be watertight before they actually move for prosecution. And whilst we accept that that might well be the case, we do want to see one thing in particular across government, which is a shared vision and a common strategic approach to addressing state capture. What we get a sense of is the lack of a concerted and coordinated plan by government as a whole and the prosecution authorities, which I think weakens the overall fight. You have different entities dealing with it in different ways as individual components, rather than government as a whole and the different arms of the prosecuting authorities working in a more coherent fashion.
Okay, thank you so much for your time. That is the Executive Director Neeshan Balton of the Ahmed Kathrada Foundation joining us there about that film, as well as tomorrow's rally that will be taking place on the eve of the State of the Nation in Cape Town.